Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the content patch for the 21st of November 2012. My name is TotalBiscuit, bringing you around 20 minutes of gaming news and comment. Coming up in the show, Planetside 2 launches across the world. Mass Effect producer asks for fan feedback. Nintendo's Wii U eShop and whether it can compare to Steam. Treyarch respond to fan outcry over the removal of Nuketown 2025. And Double Fine announced that Amnesia Fortnite prototypes will become a humble bundle. Planetside 2, MMO's long-awaited MMO FPS, has finally released and is now available worldwide. The launch was unsurprisingly accompanied by a launch trailer, which is really rather neat and is playing in the background right now. The launch was for the most part smooth, although some players have been having problems, and there are a number of issues coming to light as people continue to play the game and shake it down for all it's worth. The biggest problem the game currently seems to be suffering is a botched launch for the EU customers. Now, the EU launch and launcher were outsourced to a company called ProSaban Sat1. These guys are not exactly known for being all that amazing, and there are some fairly significant problems with the launch to the point where the EU launcher just flat out does not work. John Smedley, president of SOE, recommended that if you are an EU player with an SOE account, just use the launcher over at Planetside2.com, that being the US launcher, and you'll be able to connect to EU servers regardless, since the game is in fact cross-region. Some other players have been suffering from the G22 malfunction, which for some reason appears to crash the game upon queuing for certain servers. This can be resolved by reinstalling the game, or alternatively, opening up the launcher, clicking on the little wrench, which takes you to Advanced Tools, and then clicking Validate Game Assets, which may fix the problem for you. On the plus side, performance seems to have improved fairly dramatically, although SOE has stated in a lengthy post on Reddit that they are still not happy with the performance and are working to increase it. Nvidia card users are recommended to download the latest beta drivers, which have a variety of performance enhancements for Planetside 2, as well as a number of other recent titles. Aside from that, the game appears to be running fairly well for most people, and the launch appears to be relatively stable, although certain issues like the crashing of the in-game voice-over IP servers appear to be plaguing the game at present. Now we are past the launch period, we have to start looking at whether or not the business model is any good, and there have been a couple of complaints in regards to the fact that the cosmetic upgrades do not appear to be cross-account, they only appear to bind to a specific character. There have also been other complaints about the pricing of weapons, with some weapons costing up to $7, although that is fairly comparable to games like Blacklight Retribution, Tribes Ascend, and of course League of Legends, that charges around $8 for a champion and up to $15 for the best champion skins. It remains to be seen as to whether or not these prices will be changed, although there was a fairly significant update during the beta, which essentially decreased the amount of time it would take to acquire a weapon with certification points by 30%. No doubt this will be a point of contention in the next few weeks, and we'll see how that develops. Regardless, the game is currently out right now, and the Cynical Brit outfit named Let the Brit Drop has been set up over on the US East Waterson server on the TR faction. I will be announcing over Twitter the times when I'll be online in order to invite people to the outfit, and currently we are sitting at a rather healthy 200 members. If you're interested in jetpacks, throwing C4, and hurling yourself out of an aircraft in a suicidal manner while playing obnoxious dubstep, then we are indeed the outfit for you. Executive producer of the Mass Effect series, Casey Hudson, has decided it would be a good idea to solicit fan feedback on Twitter. He tweeted very recently, "Passing through your thoughts on the next Mass Effect game, would you be more interested in a game that takes place before the trilogy or afterwards?" This follows up from a recent comment from BioWare for Mass Effect 4, which is of course being headed up by BioWare Montreal this time around, that the next game star would not be just another space soldier, and of course it will also not be Commander Shepard. Now, one has to wonder if there's any chance that this tweet will actually affect anything. One would think, you would think at any rate, that the storyline had already been figured out for this game. I would have thought so anyway. Really? Hasn't it been? I don't know. It is strange, to say the least, isn't it? I have to wonder if it's just complete nonsense, and he just put the tweet out there just to have a read and see what interesting feedback he could get, and then, of course, BioWare just makes its decision based on whatever the hell it wants. Personally, I would like to see it be prior to the actual Mass Effect games and have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the Reapers. Get rid of the Reapers. Just get rid of the Protheans. I don't care. You know, the cool thing about Mass Effect is the universe in which it is in, and checking out the wide variety of different races, how they run things, the political turmoil, all of the friction going on within the galaxy. That's cool. You know, it's got this whole Star Trek thing going on with it. And I don't really care about the Reapers. Ooh, the Reapers. Yeah, scary, big, bad. I couldn't care less. That's the least interesting part of the game. The whole trying to defeat the Reapers thing, that is not entertaining. What is entertaining is visiting all sorts of different worlds, interacting with different races, finding yourself in seedy bars and broken down space stations, crime syndicates, all of the stuff going on beneath the surface. That is what makes Mass Effect interesting, not the overarching Prothean Reaper thing. So as far as I'm concerned, focus entirely on that. Go for a smaller scope kind of game. Don't go for the grandiose save the galaxy idea. Focus on one guy and his struggle against the universe. Just a struggle to survive. That would be really awesome. I think that that provides a great deal of potential for character development, storytelling, and all manner of really cool encounters. Let's have that. What I'm essentially saying is I want the Firefly of Mass Effect. I think that would work extremely well, and the universe is easily fleshed out enough in order to support that kind of game and story. If you wish to provide your own feedback and make Casey Hudson completely regret everything that he said in the past, then I would suggest that you send a tweet to Casey D. Hudson. That is Casey D. Hudson with your ideas for the game. And he will never use Twitter again. While there's a lot of debate on the pros and cons of the Wii U at the moment, as well as many mixed reviews across the internet, one thing that people don't seem to be complaining about, assuming they're a games developer, is the eShop for the Wii U. According to the Trine 2 developers Frozen Byte, the eShop is competitive with servers like the App Store and Steam. They say they love the new eShop on the basis that they have the power to price their products as they please with just some basic guidelines from the big guys. The step to this is purely from Nintendo's side, and they clearly see that their previous installments have not been up to par. We can set our own pricing, and actually continuing on that by setting our own sales whenever we want. It's very close to what Apple and Steam are providing. It's also been reported that providing updates costs you absolutely nothing via the eShop, which is something that the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 have been criticized for by indie developers in the past. This very well could be Nintendo's ace in the hole with the Wii U. The Wii did have an active download system, but it really wasn't all that good. There is potential for the eShop to actually become the place for indies and premium indies to publish their games. Also, it offers a competitive marketplace whereby you can price your game however you want. So if you want to do an iOS-style release on the Wii U and price it at 99 cents, then you can price it at 99 cents. That is, of course, something that you can also do via the PlayStation Minis system, as well as the Xbox Live Indie section. But it's nice that this has got that all set up from the start and isn't going to charge you for making updates to your software, problems that have occurred with previous titles such as Fez. There's already a fairly strong indie launch with the Wii U eShop, including Trine 2 Director's Cut and Little Inferno. I very much hope that things work out well for the eShop, honestly, and that we get a lot of really awesome games coming in. I feel that the gamepad could be used very effectively to provide a really interesting indie experience that you can't find on any other platform, and it seems like Nintendo is leaving the doors wide open for that kind of thing to happen. This is also heartening because it is an indicator that they are really trying to support third-party developers as best as they can this time around, which is something they really didn't do with the Wii, and as a result, all of the really good stuff on the Wii, aside from the Just Dance games, were of course Nintendo first-party titles, and most of that stuff wasn't as appealing to the core gamer that wasn't into Nintendo franchises. Yeah, Zelda's great. Yeah, Mario's great, but if I'm honest, I'm not really into those games. I never really had an upbringing surrounding Zelda or Mario. I was much more into the Sega stuff, so I never really got into Zelda. And as a result, I don't really view Zelda as a system seller for me, at any rate, even though it is a killer app for many people. This is good. This is really, really good. I want to see more of this, and hopefully this will also pressure the other big two, Sony and Microsoft, to make similar changes to their systems as they go forward towards the next generation. What does that mean? A lot more really cool downloadable games at competitive prices. How can you complain about that? Hopefully you can't. As a follow-up to yesterday's story on the subject of Black Ops 2 Nuketown 2025 being removed from the playlists, it has been quickly added back in as part of a playlist called Chaos Mosh Pit. This playlist includes a lot of small maps such as Carrier, Cargo Express, Hijacked Slums, and Standoff, as well as Nuketown 2025. This playlist is only available to those who pre-ordered the game and have access to Nuketown 2025 in the first place. This is yet another botched solution as far as I'm concerned. God, what is with these guys? I cannot understand it. They just have this insistence that you not be allowed to play Nuketown 2025 as a 24/7 thing. Initially, they removed it because they claimed, oh, it was splitting the player base. Yes, you're right, it was splitting the player base, but taking away a pre-order map from your pre-order customers is really dumb. That's a very stupid thing to do. So what did they then do? Well, they added it back in, but they put it in a playlist with a bunch of other maps. So those who want to play Nuketown 24/7 can't do that. Because you've got to deal with Carrier, Cargo Express, Hijacked Slums, and Standoff, which is like half the freaking map pool that has been dumped into this Chaos Mosh Pit mode. Now, this is designed for smaller games, and it has a wide variety of game modes on rotation. This does not mean that you can play Nuketown every time. You can vote for Nuketown, but you only get 2 choices or random. This is the way that the playlist system actually works, which is, oh god, it is headache-inducingly stupid. You click either one map or the other, or you click Classified, which is random map, random mode. So if Nuketown appears, then people can vote for Nuketown. If it doesn't appear in the rotation, then you can't vote for it regardless. So as far as I'm concerned, this is actually even worse. For one thing, the Chaos Mosh Pit playlist would be very useful for a lot of people. Some people want to play the smaller scale games, so throw that out there to the general public. But wait, you can't access this thing unless you have Nuketown 2025. But wait, there's more. If you have Nuketown 2025 and you want to play Nuketown 2025, you can't necessarily play Nuketown 2025. Oh, God. I don't even care about the map. I actually couldn't care less. It's a terrible map. I play it every now and again because it's hilarious. What I'm concerned about is just how unbelievably dumb this decision actually is, and Treyarch just seems to be completely disconnected from what the player base actually wants. It is absurd. It really, really is. And once again, as I pointed out in the previous show, indicates just how mind-crushingly stupid the playlist system actually is. It should not be in the game at all, and yet it is, and as a result, we get this kind of nonsense. So now, nobody's happy. Congratulations. It almost feels like they did it just to spite people. And finally, in a rather amusing video announcement that you can find in the background right now, and I would honestly strongly suggest you go watch it because the dialogue is very funny indeed, Double Fine has announced that they're going to be switching up their Amnesia Fortnite event. What is that all about? Well, this is where they forget about everything they've been doing, and then they spend 2 weeks splitting up into teams, coming up with and developing various wacky game ideas, and actually, it results in some pretty cool stuff. A lot of the games that we've seen from Double Fine over the last year or so have actually been as a result of Amnesia Fortnite, and we're going to be seeing a lot more games coming from that particular idea. A lot of these are smaller downloadable titles, stuff like Stacking, Costume Quest, and Iron Brigade. They all came from Amnesia Fortnite. This time around, what they're going to do is they're going to create a Double Fine Humble Bundle, whereby you will be able to vote on which titles are your favorites. The top 4 prototypes will go into production for 2 weeks, with the whole process being documented by 2 Player Productions. Those are the guys, if you recall correctly, that are filming the documentary for Double Fine Adventure. And then they're going to be released alongside Costume Quest and the game Happy Song. It's of course very likely that these games will then be made into full titles later down the line. It does take longer than 2 weeks to make a game like that, folks. So if you're interested in this prototype procedure, then I would strongly suggest that you get involved in this thing. You can head on over to the Double Fine Humble Bundle page that is currently up. The voting is going on for the next 4 days, and you will get the chance to vote on the stuff that looks really, really cool. Currently, the games that look really promising to me are probably Black Lake, which is a rather creepy folktale. You have to track animals through a folktale forest and purge evil from their dreams, which is pretty damn awesome. I think there's a lot of really cool opportunities with that. Zombie Chained looks pretty awesome. It's a co-op brawler where the characters are chained together, so it seems like a mixture of Chaotix with Streets of Rage. I'd definitely be all over that. Space-based DF9 sounds like Startopia, and that can only be a good thing. And there's also a game called Hack and Slash, whereby the character uses actual hacking skills to cheat through an action-adventure. So there's definitely a lot of cool possibilities with that one. Child's Play also receives a portion of the donations, so it's definitely worth having a look at. There are an awful lot of pitch videos. I would recommend that you check out a great deal of them before you decide to vote for any of these things, and hopefully this will result in some really cool games, as Double Fine has a tendency to bring us. Alright folks, that's me wrapped up for the day. Thank you very much for watching the content patch. There will not be a content patch episode on Friday, because I produce these videos basically a day in advance, and Thursday is Thanksgiving in the US, which I very much intend to spend with the family. Might be a good idea. Can't really produce videos if I'm kicked out of the house. Also, the Steam Fall Sale has started, and I will be producing sale box videos for the entire duration of this particular sale, assuming that nothing goes horribly wrong. One last thing, we've almost sold out of the first run of All Fanboys Must Die t-shirts, which is pretty damn impressive. That was very quick, so thank you to everyone that supported that particular endeavor, and hopefully once you get your t-shirts, you will enjoy them very much. We are commissioning a second run due to popular demand, because we are going to most likely run out by the end of the day, so I would suggest that you get your t-shirts as quickly as you can. The second run will be produced fairly quickly, but it may mean that your t-shirts will arrive a couple of days later than they otherwise would. So if you want to get in on the first wave, head on over to the t-shirt page and pick up the All Fanboys Must Die t-shirt and poster combo. Thank you once again for your support, and I'll see you next time.